Thinking about moving to Minneapolis in 2026? Let me give you the real breakdown of the cost of living here from someone who's lived in Minneapolis for 25 years, sold hundreds of homes here, remodeled houses, built houses, ran a business here, and raised my family right here in South Minneapolis. If you want the truth, not the hype, not the headlines, you're in the right spot. I'm Arne Johansson, a realtor and licensed builder here in Minneapolis. If you're thinking about buying or selling in the Twin Cities or considering relocating here, there's a link in the description to book a Zoom meeting one-on-one with me anytime you're ready. I'd love to talk with you about your goals, your budget, and where you're hoping to land when you do move. Now let's get into it, the real cost of living in Minneapolis in 2026. So housing is the biggest component of the cost of living, so let's just start there. Minneapolis is a city of a lot of different neighborhoods, and the price varies dramatically depending on where you want to be. So here's the straightforward breakdown. So Southwest Minneapolis, that's going to most likely be one of the most expensive neighborhoods that you're looking in. So you got Lake of the Isles, you're close to Lake Harriet, Fulton neighborhood, Linden Hills, Kenny, Tangletown, Kingfield. These are some of the most desirable neighborhoods in the entire state of Minnesota, but definitely in Minneapolis. So many homes near Lake of the Isles and Lake Harriet are around 900,000 to 2.5 million. More affordable pockets like Kenny and Tangletown, those are going to be anywhere from like 450,000 to 700,000. So the benefit of these areas, you get beautiful walkable neighborhoods, you get historic homes, you get top tier parks and schools, and these are some of the highest demand areas in Minnesota. So the downside, you're going to pay for it, both in the home price and in the property taxes. So South Minneapolis, this is the Lake Nokomis area of South Minneapolis, Longfellow and Powderhorn. This is kind of a balanced area. So this is like Lake Nokomis, Hale, Field, Regina, Erickson, Diamond Lake. You have an average home price for like a move-in ready home is around 400 to 550,000. Smaller homes or dated homes, those are going to be more like 325, 400K. And then are some fixer-uppers that you can find for around $250,000. So if you want to be close to the parks, close to the lakes, have coffee shops, bike trails, but you don't want to pay the Southwest Minneapolis prices, this is the best blend of affordability and lifestyle, in my opinion, in Minneapolis. This is where I grew up. I've remodeled a lot of houses here, raised my family here, and I've sold hundreds of properties in and around Minneapolis. I feel like this is one of the best bang for your buck neighborhoods. So I know these areas very well. The other areas that are a little bit more affordable are like Powderhorn, and then you have another high demand area like Cooper, Longfellow. These give you more of like a little bit urban feel because you're not close to the lakes as much. You got a little bit more commercial areas there, but they're really cool. These neighborhoods give you a lot of value for the price. Average home, depending on the condition, on the low end for a fixer-upper, probably around 275, and then that goes up to like 400 for your starter home, depending on the updates and the condition. The benefits of these areas, you're going to get in at a lower price point. You do have access to the river, which is really close by. You got Minnehaha Falls. There's a lot of great local restaurants. Downside, like I said, it's going to be a little bit more busier with street traffic. The blocks can vary dramatically as far as like you might have a really nice house and then a few blocks later you have like some apartment buildings. You're further away from the lakes. The crime is a little bit higher in some of these spots compared to like Lake Nokomis and Southwest Minneapolis. But if you are not in that price range, more of a budget conscious buyer, Longfellow, Cooper, these are areas that offer great options. So then you have like the Phillips neighborhood, which is probably the lowest price option in South Minneapolis. This is the most urban part of South Minneapolis and has a wide range of prices. I mean, you can find houses very small that are, maybe right at 200,000, go up to $300,000 for like a fixer-upper starter home. This is where you'll find the most affordable housing, like I said, in the south, on the south side. But it does come with more noise, more activity. There's higher crime compared to Lake Nokomis and Southwest in general, if you look at the averages. So it's important to understand the exact streets and the blocks that you're on because it does vary dramatically. So then you go to North Minneapolis, which is probably the most affordable part of the city. If this is your priority number one, I highly recommend North Minneapolis because there are some beautiful homes there, and you're going to pay double the price in South Minneapolis. So if you're looking to get a home at a much lower price, North Minneapolis gives you a lot of great options. It has the lowest barrier to entry. You can still get houses for $175,000 in North Minneapolis. So the trade-offs, though, is, on average, there is higher crime there. The houses are older. They tend to be from the 1880s to the 1920s. Fewer amenities. There isn't a lake in North Minneapolis. There isn't a river. So it's not as walkable. And for some people, there's just, for like investors, there's a lot more rental properties. It just depends on what your goals are. So then you got downtown Minneapolis. Downtown's all about condos. The prices vary there. If you like that condo lifestyle, that's, that's where most of the condos are in Minneapolis. There are basic units that, start around $200,000 to $275,000. Then they go up to around $300,000 to $500,000 for more modern units, and then the luxury higher end condos, those are going to be, $600,000, $700,000, $1.5 million. And then the HOA fees, those can range anywhere from like $600 a month up to $2,200 a month. It just depends on the building. So then you got North Minneapolis. That's a really trendy area. It's got great restaurants. It's got a lot of breweries, parks. There's a younger vibe over there. Homes average between around $350,000 to $550,000. A lot of people moving to Minneapolis ask about this area because it's lively, it's accessible, has a great community feel. So Northeast Minneapolis is another great spot. So the average rental cost in Minneapolis, here's what you can expect in 2026. Studios range from about $1,000 to $1,300. One bedrooms range from about $1,300 to $1,700 a month. Two bedrooms range from about $1,700 to $2,500 a month. And a single family home is going to range anywhere from like $2,500 to $3,500 or more a month. So the neighborhood really matters a lot. Cost of food and restaurants. Minneapolis restaurants are great. There's a ton of different options. Compared to many other major cities, it's still very reasonable. You're going to pay $4 for a coffee, $6 for a coffee, $12 to $18 for a lunch entree, $18 to $30+ for a dinner. Local breweries probably going to be about $5 to $9 a pint, depending on what you're buying. Groceries is going to cost you at least for one person $350 to $500. Groceries for a family of four is going to cost at least $800 to $1,100 per month. Transportation costs, the average is around $3.10 to $3.60 a gallon right now. Car insurance ranges from about $110 to $150 a month, depending on what part of the city that you live in. Parking downtown, that's going to range from about $110 to $220 a month. You can do, obviously Uber or Lyft. They're reasonable, but they're not super cheap. You can get almost anywhere in the city within about 10 minutes, so it's a pretty easy city to navigate. Now, Minneapolis property taxes are higher than average. Like on a $550,000 home, you're probably going to be paying almost $8,000 per year in property taxes. Higher priced neighborhoods, you're going to pay higher taxes. So definitely budget for that. So the winter costs, if you're moving from out of state, here's the reality in winter. You're going to be paying at least $150 to $250 a month for heating in the winter. Snow removal, I would just plan on at least $60 per visit. Most of them charge somewhere around like $300-400 a month. You're going to need to get winter tires are recommended because it can get slippery on the road, and then you're going to have to spend at least $300 or more just on like hats, gloves, mittens, boots, things like that. Then if you want to get a nice jacket, that could be a couple $100s too. So final thoughts: is Minneapolis affordable in 2026? Minneapolis isn't the cheapest city to live in. It's also nowhere near the most expensive. So the real takeaway is you can make Minneapolis as affordable or as a premium as you want. Your neighborhood choice determines your entire cost of living. And after living here for 25 years, I can tell you this. The city has flaws, but the lakes, the parks, the neighborhoods, the restaurants, the convenience, and the economic opportunity make Minneapolis incredibly hard to leave. So if you are thinking about moving to Minneapolis, buying or selling a home here, I'd love to help you. I've lived here for 25 years. I've sold hundreds of homes here, built and remodeled properties, and I know the cost of living very, very well. So let's talk about your budget, your goals, and your neighborhoods. See what's the best fit for you. There's a link in the description for where you can book a Zoom call. We can go over your goals and your dreams. My contact information is in the description below. I love to help you. I look forward to helping you make a confident, informed decision. Till next time, we'll see you later.